Hey Cougs, welcome to another episode of CoogsTalk. I'm Kyra, here with
Pollo.
I'm Iain.
I'm Brady.
and today we're going to talk about some NFL jerseys and matching Crocs. So, what did you guys find interesting?
Well, to start it off, I think always the attraction comes to the jerseys. And I think my personal favorite are just looking down here on my notes, the Buffalo Bills whiteout jersey. That's pretty slick. Honestly, it definitely captures everything about Buffalo, with those stormy games, as they literally have paid their fans like $20 an hour to shove out snow out of their stadium. So I feel like that really does fit them too. Another one that I really did like though, although it could be like considered not original because it does look like another thing. But the Seahawks one that looks very Oregon-ish, but I don't know, it looks smooth though. So I gotta say, out of the two, main ones, everyone looking at the jerseys, that's of course it's why I came here. Themes showing out for everything. I think those were the two best jerseys in my opinion though. I think I would feel like I would wear them though, and I think they look really cool, really modern and very slick. I think that's the appeal I really like about them.
I like the idea of the rivalry jerseys in general because they tried something similar with the color rush jersey, which allowed them to not look very, very good at all.
Yeah.
I'm actually of the opinion I don't like the Bills one.
Really?
I think it's very like another all white jersey. Like I feel like you can get a little bit more creative, especially coming up with different logos for the helmets and for the uniforms, to reuse the same. Because if it's a city jersey, the reason why I like the Texans so much is because they make a whole new logo for their color rush. They made like a whole new design, different colors, all that. And then for Buffalo, it's like yes, it looks clean. I'm not denying that, but it's just a little boring. It's like the Spurs jerseys or Celtics jerseys or Lakers jerseys. Like it's just like
those.
It's just like I feel like you could have gone a little bit more with that. I think Miami's, their gray ones are also not very good.
Yeah, I didn't like the.
I just don't like gray a lot with jerseys. I don't think it looks very good. Especially with orange and teal, like the colors just don't match.
They all clash.
Yeah, they don't clash at all. They clash a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty like
really
visually
bad.
like unpleasing.
I think the best one from that state is Arizona's.
Arizona's, wow.
I think Arizona's are so clean. I love the use of the desert in them. I like how they have the Arizona state flag right here. New helmets, they're using beige coloring. It kind of looks like sand is sprinkled on them. I think that's very cool. I think that's like the goal you should go with when you're making one of these type of jerseys. And I think Buffalo tried that, and it's just not as cool for me. I guess because it's just snow. It's white. I kind of prefer it when it's a little when you throw in some more color in there. Not to say white jerseys aren't cool.
Right.
I think white jerseys are very cool, but I think for something a color rush or city jersey or something, it should be loud.
Yeah.
It should be loud and it should be very. You can have it be clean while also being loud. I think Arizona perfectly hits that balance. I think they look great.
Yeah. Going back to the rivalries jerseys, and I'd really like to say this. I think they did an amazing job picking out all of these, making the designs for them. Because one of my big problems, and this is with NFL, MLB, and especially the NBA, the jerseys Nike have made over the last few years, they lack a lot of personality. It seems, obviously it's a brand, but you look back to the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, and I mean, for example, like the 2000s Rockets jerseys when they had the big logo and the rocket around. I mean, those had character to them, and that's kind of like the feeling I get with these rivalries jerseys. I think they did a stellar job with all of them, and my personal favorite is the 49ers jersey.
That's a good one too. That was up in my top three. Yeah.
I think obviously it's safe to go with a black base, obviously, but the gold and maroon, it is a stellar color combination. I cannot wait to see these on field, and I think they will look incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
With the Patriots, I think they missed like a really obvious opportunity to go back to their something similar with their 90s where they have the flag.
Yeah,
those are
the actual
loud.
Patriot with the football.
Yeah, those are cool.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, these are cool. That's a whole different minimalism has.
I would say it's really taken over just like the marketing movement in general. I think like what you were saying, it do look nice and clean, but like you were saying, we're missing that personality with the jerseys because the jerseys are for the players, but they're also for the fans. Like that's how they support. And like, how can you really support when you look like everyone else? You're bland.
And I understand what especially in the NBA, what they're trying to do is create like a family of logos where they're all seem like. But that's also I don't want to see circles. I'm kind of over circles.
Yeah.
I like it when we have like a face associated with the logo itself, like the Rockets from the late '90s and early 2000s with Yao Ming and Coutinho Mobley and all that.
Right. Yeah.
Those are loud. Those are loud. And then the new R, I like the regular R, but it's not as good because it's just like it's not as loud. Like I want something bold and creative. And I just
that's what I'm saying, because a lot of the rebrands we see, they're all circular. It just kind of looks like a patch was ironed on there, and there you go. It's this team's jersey. Whereas just the look of the rivalry jerseys and what you were talking about, the Rockets, all those classic ones, they look, like they're supposed to represent something more than just a little patch.
Even too, I know I'm getting a little off topic, but obviously, of course, pinstripes are everything. Pinstripes are always great. And I mean, I don't know, it's gonna be hard for football to incorporate pinstripes. The day that will happen, that'd be awesome. But of course, like I think that does bring great. I mean, even like the Bland stuff, like as Bland, you can call the Yankees jersey. Obviously, that's one of the most iconic sports jerseys of like all time. And definitely, I don't know, it's just that appeal that they have because everybody knows, like they are the New York Yankees. Just as much as like it was mentioned about the Rockets jerseys, the old ones where Yao Ming, Steve Francis. Those had pinstripes on them too. I'm trying to think. I like even the Vince Carter. I've always been a big fan of the Vince Carter Toronto Raptors one. And they have their intricate own pinstripe where it's like more shaky to match like the dinosaur vibe or whatever. I think we have, for the 2000s where we saw, I remember watching a video about this actually, about like the aesthetics of the 90s and, 80s too. That 2000s, like everything was like loud and bold. It was unique. Each one had their own thing. But then we got to 2010s, we got very minimalistic and the grain and stuff where we started valuing that more than the character. But when we see things like this, we're trying to bring it back into sports and bring it back to the great cultural stuff. I really do like enjoy that a lot. I mean, I'm seeing like just kind of reviewing back on everything that I'm seeing right now. Another good one, I feel like it's not bad too, going back to the black base jerseys, are the Rams. They aren't like, it's not a bad jersey to be honest with you. I know it's just like, it doesn't look, it's almost like an alternative like to their white jerseys, but at least the effort that we're kind of seeing it and kind of coming back to, definitely so. And another thing too, I think where we see that transition is definitely within the Crocs, where they aren't trying to go minimalistic. So for example, my favorite Crocs on here were the Dolphins that actually had like a fin on here. That looks pretty cool. And they have like a gray, kind of a classic, the orange and teal is I guess the proper color. Teal that kind of brings it together. The Vikings one's super cool where again, it kind of has that very characteristic thing of the horn, the exaggerated form that you kind of need, that I like the old helmets were before the, the face. That brought out that character, that brought out the Vikings, that can remind you of the Purple People Eaters in the 1970s, Randy Moss early on like that. I guess it has that pizzazz to it. I'm glad that we're kind of seeing that though. Try to reestablishing it though is going to be very, very hard in a big corporate world where like Nike, Adidas rule, the jersey industry right now.
Yeah, I would rather see something like ugly and loud. I would rather the design be ugly and loud than just be mediocre and quiet. Like I just think that's
because it's way easier to like take it down, like take away a few things, rather than like dress it up.
Also, Giants, they need to make pinstripe for their.
I think
that'd be awesome. They have to do something. I think that would look so cool.
And they went back to the old, the old logo, the old '80s logo right there, and that was great. And I think again, I think that'd be the perfect team to do it since New York owns pinstripes. So you bring it to football, New York.
But yeah, going back to the Crocs real quick, I have to agree. I really am a big fan of the Vikings ones. I just think they have a lot of character, and purple and yellow has always been one of my favorite color combos. Looks great.
Right.
And just, my favorite part about all of these that I believe Iain was saying is that they're over the top. They're meant to be fun. They're meant to be just bold, brash. They're meant to be looked at and be like, those are sick. Yeah. So I really admire like how bold Crocs is for doing this collab in the first place and for making them look the way they do. I think it's really cool.
And I think flipping it back to the NFL jerseys, I think the NFL has stayed in this like, I think the NBA and the MLB haven't done a fantastic job with their jerseys in recent years. but the NFL has kind of always allowed for creativity. For example, like I don't know if y'all remember the alarm clock Tampa Bay and Buccaneers jerseys. Those are really bad from they had Jameis Winston.
Yeah, the color. It was the color
Yes,
rush.
yeah,
Yes,
kinda like
yes,
color
that
rush.
was
Like,
that
those
was
are-
bad.
But then you also had very like minimalistic designs, kind of like the Jaguars recently. You know,
Yeah,
like, there's where there's just nothing.
Mm.
So, and I kind of like that we're kind of reaching this middle point because you see teams rebranding like the Texans and the Jets, where they're going back to this well, the Texans had nothing to go back to. They should. That's
Yeah.
a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But like the they're going back to this like classic design. I'm not. I don't want to be blinded by nostalgia, but some of those designs from the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s are iconic. You can't like they're. I should be able to tell which team I'm looking at, like with how loud the colors are. The
Absolutely.
Oilers from the 80s and the 90s, the
Right,
baby
yeah.
blue, like that's Houston.
Mhm.
Or when
Absolutely.
you see the Jets, they return to it just the bright green,
Yep.
obnoxious.
That solid white.
That's
Yeah.
that's
You
the
know who it
Jets.
is.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then same thing with the Bengals. They went back to it. They got rid of like a lot of unnecessary lines, you know, and they were like, okay, that's like it's iconic with them. Tampa, they kind of did like this retro classic design that they did, and they also brought back the creamsicles.
Right. That was so good.
I love the
Classic.
creamsicle
I know,
jerseys.
dude,
Those are
yes.
my
Like those
all-time
Absolutely.
they're
favorites.
loud. Like when you see them, like that's Tampa.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's tough.
That's what you should go for. You know.
Mhm.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's CoogsTalk. I'm Kyra,
I'm Pollo.
I'm Ian.
I'm Brady.
and we will see you next week. Go Cougs!
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.